Hello Gemini, welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie. Blazer the Morkie is with the other family members right now. At the time of recording, this is around the holidays, so there's a lot going on. And I'm coming to you with your January monthly reading. Today we'll pull a card for your overall energy, and then we'll lay out this beautiful, yummy Celtic cross reading that I love to do for the monthlies, and we'll go in deep there and get as much as we can. And then we'll close it off with an oracle card for the Gemini collective. Always keeping in mind that these readings are general, so take only what resonates and leave the rest. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, rising, and north node readings for additional context and texture. Follow your intuition on that. And then if you'd like a personal reading, be sure to check out the links below for all the good stuff. I have all kinds of things going on. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Creators on the Crest. I post a lot on social media to do with specials and all kinds of things. So make sure to get involved with that. And let's get into this reading. We're going to grab your overall energy from the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards here. All right. Feeling into January for Gemini. January. This one's sticking out right here. Miracles, Gemini, miracles. Expect the wondrous to emerge. Ooh, miracles. And we have like genie making a wish kind of thing here. Miracles. Okay. So possibly a really good time for you to focus on your highest and best and dreaming big. Let's see what's going on in your reading here. In your current energy, Gemini, you have the Four of Swords. That's a healing energy. And the energy crossing or challenging that is the Three of Swords, which is an energy of pain. So some of you are really working on healing up a pain body or a pain element in your life right now. And that is pretty clear with those swords coming in like that. Important for you stepping into dreaming big would be healing up whatever pain point this is. Now, in your needed focus, you get the Three of Cups. It's a great time for you to be collaborating with other people. It's a great time for you to be social and engaged in the types of community that bring you joy. Okay, it's important for you to feel joyful about the get-togethers that you're attending. And maybe fresh after the holidays, you have some residual energy around what you've experienced and how you'll set boundaries moving forward in the future. What you're leaving behind is the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is an amazing energy to leave behind because it really is possibly an ego death or possibly some sort of thought forms, some way of communicating, way of interacting that no longer serves you. So honestly, you can't really ask, except for maybe like Devil card or Death card energy, a better card to represent you're leaving behind a certain something that just did not serve you, that brought you down. So I really like that card for you. Moving on into your future position, you get the Four of Wands. Much greater stability coming in based on what you've actually put into things, Gemini. So greater stability based on your actions in alignment with your passion. Beautiful energy coming in for you. And then in your place of empowerment and embodiment, you actually have the Three of Wands. And I think this has to do, it's very interesting because I kind of get an air-fire mix here for you. Air and fire are standing out. You do have some emotions and some cups energy here. But this Three of Wands seems to me like you have a really strong perspective on what's going on right now, and you can see the playing field super clearly. So if you're thinking about taking certain actions, I really feel like you have a good line of sight as to what's going on. So whatever play from your playbook you want to be running, it's looking good because you're in a place of power with that energy of what you're perceiving and what you're seeing on the field. In your energy of allies and support, you get the Seven of Cups. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I think the holidays have done something to you, for you, with you, where you're starting to see the finer details around what feels good about the holidays and what doesn't. What feels good around the interactions with other people, what does not, what are the expectations? Is it in your best interest to try to uphold expectations of others, or maybe even of yourself? Have you put too much pressure on? It's a really good time for you right now. It's a very supportive time for you to be really observing this, and especially how you feel about each one. Like, even if you need to do an inventory and kind of go through all your holiday get-togethers, every interaction you have, and really tune in to how you felt about each one. That could be an important exercise carrying you into the new year to help you clear out some of these energies and work on that pain body there. In your environment, you get the Temperance card. This is Sagittarius energy. Some of you could have a Sagittarian in your life that's significant, but also this represents patience, timing. All right, and the message that I'm getting for you is allow the divine timing, the damn divine timing. We might have to call you reading that. The damn divine timing. It's almost a tongue twister there. It's hilarious, actually. But Gemini has a great sense of humor. That damn divine timing, that is what your environment is demanding of you right now. So maybe some of you are like, well, I've been wishing and I've been dreaming big and I've been doing that. My miracle hasn't come through. And I think it has to do maybe with this pain body you're healing, and that you are still kind of swirling in the effects of things instead of being at cause point. And that's a journey we all go on multiple times in our lifetime. We go through these cycles. So hang in there. That damn divine timing is going to come through for you, okay? In your hopes and fears, you have the Knight of Swords. To me, right off the bat, I get that some of you are maybe questioning your energy levels. You could be menopausal woman like myself, and you're like, man, am I going to have enough energy to follow through on these things that lead toward my dreams or where I want to be at this phase in my life? On the one hand, I feel there's times where I'm super clear and super energized. On the other hand, there's times where that is lacking, and not only do I need to rest, but it's almost like the universe makes me rest, right? There's no other choice but to rest. And you may be kind of struggling with that back and forth in your hopes and fears when it comes to executing on this energy. And then in your potential outcome, you get the Six of Cups. It's a beautiful offering exchange of love between two people, relationship. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily mean romantic dating world. It could for some of you, but it also could just mean a kind, loving gesture is coming forth either for you, or maybe you're making the gesture to someone. All right, let's get a little deeper into this reading and see what else we can uncover here, Gemini. Let's look at this Four of Swords for you here. All about healing and surrendering into the healing process. And you got the Empress and you got the Three of Cups. Whew, and my nose is running. And so energies are moving. Gemini got the energies flowing here. So remember, you have the Three of Cups in your needed focus as well. So I'm glad to see that it's with your current energies. Whatever you're healing up likely has to do with relationships. Some of you could be on a journey right now where you're beginning to meet new people and you're forming new relationships, and because they are different and because they are more evolved than what you would have interacted with previously, some of your wounding and possibly reactivity around different personalities, different ways that people talk or communicate could be a little bit triggering, but it's because you're in this phase of you are forming more pristine relationships, more advanced, more evolved relationships. Some of you could be, and Gemini, you're usually pretty popular, extroverted. A lot of people around you or gravitate to you. Some of you could be taking that field down to a smaller size, to a more manageable size that supports you. And so you're really working on receiving new energies while being able to delineate between your own reactivity from previous relationships and situations, and what's actually going on right now. But there is this kind of like little trigger flow going on there that brings up the Three of Swords, that pain for you. And for some of you, this is happening in a cycle like clockwork. Like maybe this time of year, whenever you're listening to this, or you have a trigger time of year. Like I've had people tell me when I'm working with them and they're healing, like, February is always bad for me. Valentine's Day, I can't stand it, blah, blah, blah. It's always a terrible month for me. Or September is always my, a real downer and bums me out because of X, Y, Z. And it's usually something that needs healing from the past. And for some of you, I think that's something for you to consider as you move into January, into the new year, is can we redefine the story about the time frames that might be connected to this triggering? Because for some of you, I got like clockwork. It just keeps coming up. Now, the Three of Swords here is clarified by the Two of Swords and the Lovers. Whew, Gemini. Some of you are healing literally a broken heart, possibly from a relationship, a divorce, you're moving on. Or it could just be pain from friendships as well, like maybe long-standing. There's this need within you to gravitate toward partnership and toward interactions, okay? So you have this kind of natural calling, and the Lover's card is your card. It is connected to the sign of Gemini. So it's very natural for you to gravitate toward partnerships. What you're working on having boundaries with is when it is not clear to you. Like it's almost like now it has to be crystal clear to you that the relationship is supportive, or you are blocking that energy out. Now, mingled in there are some of your triggers and some of the things that need healing there. So this is a little bit of a tricky time, but I really feel like with you showing up as yourself, we got the powerful energy of the Empress, where you're really receiving this time of healing and these healing energies. You're still able to connect with people. It just may be a smaller group of people, or you are kind of, cutting off the fat. You're kind of getting rid, you're getting more lean in your friends group and your inner circle. Let's put it that way, right? And there are a lot of timing pieces that come along with this. You might have a really beneficial experience. If you catch this before the end of the year, my 12-month outlook reading for 2025, I go into month by month for you personally, and it is super powerful. If you don't take advantage of that, which is, it's posted on Instagram, you could see it there. I would recommend that you take yourself through a month by month, and what I want you to get into is the energy of what you want to see unfold, because we got the miracles and expecting the wondrous to emerge, right? And maybe doing a little foreshadowing for yourself, but let's call it forelighting, okay? Because we want to light your year up with a bit more brightness and a bit more wonder, right? And I think as you weed out certain relationships in your life, this is also going to support that, and it will come more naturally to you. So some sort of 12-month forelighting to see where you really want to be and why you want to be there, and really have that time with yourself to determine that. In your needed focus for the Three of Cups, it's clarified by the Two of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Yes, this is where emotions are coming in very powerfully. There's kind of like this, for some of you, it could be like a midlife review, or some of you, it's around your Saturn return or other big transits in your astrological chart. So be sure to check those out. But yes, I see the Three of Cups going down to the Two. There could be a long-standing friendship group of three that maybe someone has passed. That could be it for some of you. Some of you have perhaps lost a friend to death, and they've moved on to a different form and a different way of life out in the stars somewhere, right? And so that has left some pain and a mark, right? There's also this emotional energy tied up with how long it takes to build the kind of friendship that maybe you are losing or have lost, or build the kind of relationship that you have had and have lost. And for some of you, you may be having that little inkling or feeling like, oh, it's too late for me. No, that's a bullshit story. So be sure you don't latch onto that here, especially when your emotions are really, really up on the surface here. What I'm getting from your greater being in the universe is to focus on yourself in the equation to do with relationships. Focus on how you emotionally feel around each person in your life. Now, there's different kinds of relationships, right? So you may feel like there's some just fine, doing fine with that person, doing fine with that child. Some of you may have children, that relationship's good, but really looking at the ones you want to improve upon the partnership. Now, if there's someone in your family, you may need some one-on-one time. We have that Two of Cups, so there may be some one-on-one time for a talk or just hanging out with the one person. Sometimes when you get around people socially, you kind of get that calling that like, oh, that was fun, but I really wanted to talk to Nancy over there, or Kevin, I really wanted to have more of a conversation, or I really enjoyed our conversation. I would like to take it further. Then follow those promptings and reach out. In the past, good job, Gemini. In the past, for the Ten of Swords, you get the Five of Wands and the World card. Really letting go relationships and partnerships that breed conflict, okay? Now, I am drawn to say for some of you, just understand there is the energies where some people will move on and they will evolve out of relationships. And so those relationships just come in for a time to help us learn a specific lesson, and then they go away because one person learns the lesson. Maybe the other doesn't, right? There's always a dynamic there. So there is some of that, but there's also just this natural up-leveling as you close out your own cycles and as you proceed through the healing process and through this healing portal that you're going through right now. You are moving into the next cycle, not wanting to bring with you conflict, competition, challenge. And I'm not talking about healthy, competitive energies. I'm talking about comparison type energies, one-upmanship kind of energies. Those energies you are leaving behind, and that's just a natural part of it. So at times when you get emotionally overwhelmed or you get up in your head too much about this, the best advice that I can put forward is for you to just know that the universe is taking care of things naturally, that there's a grander, bigger picture going on here, and you may not always see it. So the best thing you can do is turn back to yourself, focus on yourself and your own behaviors in these partnerships, and don't get too hung up on what other people have projected or attempted to project onto you. Let's look at the future energy here with this Four of Wands. Yes, you get the Judgment card and the Ten of Wands. Wow. So as you move into your future energies, there's going to be, to take you to a place of stability, there's going to be forgiveness that comes up. I would not force this forgiveness. Remember that damn divine timing. Let it just flow. Let it come as you feel called to forgive yourself or forgive others. Let it come. Let yourself be kind of drawn to it. Don't worry about seeking it out. Let it happen naturally, because one of the things that is a potential slip up here is for you to carry too much burden of responsibility or shame or blame. And those kinds of energies, if you latch on to those are the things that cause you to hide away, that keep you small. The Gemini stays in their cave instead of being bold and bright and beautiful and intellectual out on the stage, right, of life. And so you want to be careful about that. Let the forgiveness kind of flow naturally. And I think with the healing process you're in, you're going to find you don't have to do a lot of specific work around it. Let the timing kind of help clear away some of there is a need, yes, for forgiveness here and atonement and things like that, okay? But it's not meant to be forced. It's meant to just cycle naturally with these energies. Let's look at that Three of Wands in your place of power. Really cool perspective there. Yeah, and I was connecting it to your future energies. You get the Four of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so 4, let's consider 4. 4 is a very stable number, right? So you have this perspective in your seat of power and your empowerment that is heading toward stability. Now, this would be stability in the home, feeling good and stable about where you're at with your home space, with your family, you know, what you're passionate about too, though, also has a factor here, and that your passion is connected to your financial world and your resources. You are maybe going to benefit right now with landing more on the savings and investing side of the coin right now than a lot of spending. Now, with the holidays past, naturally that eases up. But going into next year, you know, according to the Gregorian calendar, we have January, right? So it's like 1 out of 12. It's the first out of 12. And it may be a month to kind of hold back onto some money, maybe put aside a little savings. It could just be for something fun down the road, not from a place of fear and scarcity, but just it might be beneficial for you. That's what it looks like to me. I think you have a really good insight right now. For those of you who are into investing, you have such a good vantage point of the playing field. You would probably do really well if you made some targeted investments. I'm not a financial advisor. You have to follow your own guidance and any, you know, professional financial advisors that you trust, right? So just putting that out there. In your support and allies, you had that Seven of Cups. And to clarify that, you get the King of Swords and the Six of Cups. So now you're kind of speaking to me because the Six of Cups is in your potential outcome as well. A beautiful, lovely exchange made from the heart. And the King of Swords here is a PowerPoint of clarity, action, confidence. Okay, there's a lot of confidence coming in here. So I think this is all connected to your intelligence, the way that you operate mentally here. You have a nice circuit going on between the mind and the heart when it comes to what is supportive in your life right now. Perhaps it's because of all the healing that you're paying attention to, and perhaps the focus on relationships and fine-tuning these relationships. But your choices now are looking a lot different than they used to. I feel like you're going to be making choices from a point of clarity. Some of you could have left behind an addiction this past year. You're turning over the new year. You're turning over a new leaf. You've stopped drinking. You've stopped having too much caffeine. You've stopped sedentary lifestyle. You started moving again. Those kinds of energies, Gemini, is what is very supportive for you right now and helping you get real clear about the kinds of exchanges that you want to have with others. And if some of you are trying to make a decision, like, oh my gosh, you guys are really getting the energy flowing. Like, do I stay single? Do I date? Should I be celibate for a time? Right now is a really good time for you to go ahead and make that decision and do what feels best to your heart. Okay, now let's look at this. Oh boy, way too many cards. Come on now. This damn divine timing with this Temperance card here, this Sagittarius energy, Gemini. What's going on here with this one and this one under here? The Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Pentacles. So this is in your environment. It may not feel right now like things are moving in the direction that you want them to in your environment or possibly financially or with your physical health. However, the winds of change are coming in here. And if you give it a little patience, if you give it a little nurturing, I do not get for you that quick fixes, get rich quick, lose, 30 pounds in a week kind of things are going to work for you. This is about establishing the more long-term sustainable habits. And so with miracles, expect the wondrous to emerge. You really need to be folking? Oh my gosh, and my nose like itching and running, and I'm on to something with you guys. You really need to be focusing on what is going to take you to your long-term goals, okay? Don't worry as much about the little, like, do this, kind of like squirrel, getting distracted here, there, squirrel, a dog with a squirrel, like jolting here and jolting there. This is a sustainable, forward, long-term momentum kind of energy that you want to get into here. And it's in your environment. You may not see it yet, but I think throughout the month of January, it's going to begin to become more clear to you. Let's look at this Knight of Swords in your hopes and fears. Do you have enough energy? Don't you? You get that Three of Wands again, which is your place of empowerment, and the Sun. Gemini, absolutely you do. Now the Sun can be connected to Leo energy, or possibly something that you're going to do in January that will come to fruition in the summer months. Again, this for some of you, you could be making like a 6-month plan, like, okay, by summer, this is where I want to be with these elements of my life. This is where I want to be with my passion, my drive, my business, right? My home, whatever it is, my relationships. And it's looking pretty good. So any fears you might have about not having enough energy, I would not worry about that. With the Three of Wands, that is more of a pause energy. It's more of a step back and assess the playing field kind of energy, but that's natural. And then you have this brilliant come out into the sun and shine kind of energy. And so there may be some cycles, that happen. I mean, I can almost guarantee there will be. And it's how you flow through it and maintain your sustainable long-term outlook. Then for your potential outcome, this is so cool because I feel like we're coming full circle for you. You get the Knight of Swords, which we just had in your hopes and fears. And you get the Four of Swords, which is how you started out the reading, right? As we evolve, as we move through evolving relationships, and especially moving people out of our life, bringing new people in, and we move forward with our passions and our alignment, it's important to know that we're going to keep healing along the way. There's going to be those times where we do need to rest, right? And with the new relationships that you're forming, I think that your alignment with the timing of things, even though normally you're that Knight of Swords and you just going for it, just let's get straight to the point, let's go, go, go. You're going to start to integrate the value of rest and healing and how things will still be attracted to you during those times. For those of you who are working on making like passive income, that is what I'm talking about here. You're going to start to realize the passive income comes in and helps you out when you need to rest or when you're healing. For some of you, it's going to be that person that drops in and brings you a nice dinner, right? It's those beautiful, kind gestures. And you are really focused on being open to that in your current energies, and that's showing up again in your potential outcome. So I think what we're seeing here is that you've journeyed through that, and you'll always have this knowing of your innate personality and nature and intelligence. And even in periods of rest, you can still read, you can still explore, you can still go into the mysteries that you want to go into, but you don't have to rush it and you don't have to push it. You can wait for that damn divine timing just to work out, right? So getting more and more comfortable with it. Okay, Gemini, let's pull you a card from the Magical Drum Oracle to close off your reading today. Gemini, you got the 21 card, the camp, and this represents connectedness, recognition, a sacred journey, relaxation, calmness, confronting yourself, letting yourself be supported as you're on your path. And Gemini, this couples up so nicely with miracles. And it says, expect the wondrous to emerge. I would add for you, after going through this reading, allow the wondrous to emerge, because you are dealing with some timing here. There are times where we travel. If we think about the indigenous tribes, there's times where we travel and we're following the buffalo, right, or our food source. And then there's times where we camp out and we rest and we rejuvenate, or we overwinter, right? And so you're going to be finding a much better balance between the cause point of benefits of rest and the benefits of the activities that are leading you to your goals. So allow this to unfold, Gemini, for you over the course of January, and really get in touch with that energy. Gemini, thank you so much for joining this reading today. It was very cool. I enjoyed that thoroughly, and I look forward to seeing you at the next one.